This is the 2024 Game Awards summarized. Starting with the pre-show, the first award of the night, Fighting Game of the Year, went to Tekken 8, published and developed by Bandai Namco. After a few game announcements, the award for Best VR AR Game was given to Camouflage and Oculus Studios' Batman: Arkham Shadow. The TGA Global Citizens Program awarded a recognition to the founder and CEO of Trees Please Games, Laura Carter, for her efforts in bringing awareness to the dangers of climate change and working to limit its effects. Then, in a slight change of energy from the video package featuring Carter at an anti-fishing protest, Mint Rocket announced Dave the Diver in Jungle is coming late next year. The Game Awards planners have a hell of a sense of humor. Next, the three esports related awards were doled out in quick succession, with League of Legends winning Best Esports Game, Faker, the South Korean League of Legends superstar, winning Best Esports Athlete, and T1, the team Faker plays on, winning Esports Team of the Year, giving League of Legends a clean sweep. Unfortunately, none of those three winners were given the opportunity to give a speech, as the show quickly moved to its next announcements. That will be a unfortunate, irritating, regular occurrence in the show from here on out. Nomada Studios and Devolver's Neva won the Games for Impact Award. The award for Innovation and Accessibility went to Ubisoft Montpellier for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Shout out to all the nominees, by the way, for creating their games with people and gamers of all different abilities in mind. Very nice to have your, what you make be enjoyed by as many people as possible and not gatekeeping your experiences. That's very thoughtful. Moving on now to Best Family Game went to Team Asobi's Astrobot. And with that, we have reached the end of the pre-show. As always, the show started with a speech from Jeff Keighley. Small critique, no reference to the mass layoffs, save for a quick and nondescript challenges our industry faces line. I know that Jeff Keighley tries to make the Game Awards be an overwhelmingly positive ceremony, but dude, it is kind of like the big story of the past couple years in gaming industry. And he could have at least sent well wishes to all the people who have been laid off, considering in the past 2 years, 25,000 people have been laid off. That would have taken like 10 seconds and meant a whole lot more than a generic throwaway phrase in the middle of a sentence, especially considering the show was about 4 hours long, and Statler and frickin' Waldorf, the Muppets, got a minute in the opening monologue. You could have cut back on them and actually given that time to other parts of the monologue. Maybe Jeff didn't want to piss off the Game Awards advisory board, which is quite possible. Again, the Game Awards is the main time of year when fans and developers of the gaming industry alike come together. Mentioning the lows of the year rather than glossing over them is a simple way to make those who were negatively impacted by those lows feel seen and appreciated for their work. And it also makes the highs feel like actual highs rather than just everyday occurrences. But by simply skipping over the massive layoffs, again, the big negative of the year, it really felt like Keighley was trying to we happy few the audience. Nothing's wrong, everything's fine. Yay! Anyway, the awards began with Todd Howard, Troy Baker, and Harrison Ford announcing the winner of Best Performance. Melina, I'm so sorry, Jurgens won for her portrayal of Senua in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Keighley actually gave a fun fact while Jurgens was on her way to the stage. She is the first two-time winner of the Best Performance Award. Her first win was for her portrayal as Senua in the first Senua Saga game, and according to IMDb, those are her only 2 acting roles. Very impressive. Then, after 30 minutes of game announcements and advertisements, it was time for the second award to be announced. Best Action Game of the Year went to Black Myth Wukong, developer Game Science's debut game. We'll have more from Game Science later, because, you'll see. Next came a surprise. Jeff Keighley went on a very small monologue, about 20 to 30 seconds, actually acknowledging the troubles the gaming industry has faced in the last few years, albeit it was kind of roundabout at times, but, at least he mentioned it. Unfortunately, it was also after an ad break. It's a little awkward to talk about, man, these big companies have been laying off a lot of people. Meanwhile, you just had an ad for Ubisoft. Sorry. It wasn't perfect, but at least he did it at all, again, because Jeff Keighley does like for the Game Awards to be a positive event focusing on positive, so at least he did at least mention it. Though it turns out it was just a segue into the recipient of the first Game Changer Award, Admir Satvat. Satvat has helped laid off workers in the gaming industry find new jobs still in the industry. He created a whole resource and a whole kind of website that shows all the open roles around the gaming industry for people to use. I recommend everyone go and check out his speech. It was one of my personal highlights for the entire 3-hour program. It was a very kind of heartwarming, emotional thing, so I do recommend everyone go and check that out. And thank you, Mr. Satvat, for helping the creative minds who create the games we love, and helping them out when they're at their lows. After more announcements came the award with the least surprising winner of the night. Most anticipated game went to Grand Theft Auto 6, because no one saw that coming. Also announced in another rapid fire session, Best Multiplayer Game went to Helldivers 2, Best Community Support went to Baldur's Gate 3, and Best Art Direction went to Metaphor ReFantazio. Again, none of those winners were granted the opportunity to give an acceptance speech, as the show quickly moved into more announcements. Then came more award. Only one. Astrobot won Best Game Direction for its second win of the night. And after about another 11 minutes of announcements, yes, at this point I was timing it, it was time for one of the bigger awards to be given, Best Debut Indie Game. Balatro won, unsurprisingly. It's a really good game and addictive. Developer Local Thunk was in the audience but didn't want to go on stage, so they sent a representative up to give a statement for them. And in that statement, Local Thunk recognized the other nominees and asked for everyone at home to go and check out other indie games, to go and support the greater indie industry and give the smaller creators a little bit of love. It was at this point I really started to get tired of all the announcements. There was still over an hour and a half left in the show. Up to this point, 17 awards were announced. Only 11 winners got acceptance speeches, and 6 of those speeches were on the 30-minute pre-show. Considering each acceptance speech that was even allowed to occur was only given 45 seconds, which is up from last year's 30 seconds, that's still just a total of 3 minutes and 45 seconds, roughly, of acceptance speeches, versus over an hour of ads and announcements so far in the main show. I think it's about time the Game Awards features only the biggest announcements, and all of the other ones get relegated to like a winter game fest or some other show. Probably wouldn't be great for money purposes, but for the sake of the audience that is actually there in person, having to sit there through the entire ceremony, and everyone at home maintaining their attention, it's probably best to start bringing the show length down a bit. It's too much. Back to what the show is actually named after. The award, Best Action Adventure Game, went to Astrobot, their third win of the night. Metaphor ReFantazio won Best RPG for their second win of the night. Unfortunately, this, like their first win, was for an award given in a quick fashion, so no speech for the Metaphor team here either. Twitch streamer Queso won Content Creator of the Year. EA Sports FC 25 won Best Sports Racing Game. Can someone please tell the Game Awards organizers that racing is a sport? I think they're a little bit confused. Frostpunk 2 was awarded Best Sim Strategy Game. Again, all 4 of those awards were given in a quick fashion, with no speeches. Immediately after this, Statler and Waldorf do another nearly 90-second bit, making fun of the incessant announcements and long runtime of the show. At this point, maybe 4.5 minutes of the show were devoted to acceptance speeches, while the Muppets had 2 minutes. How the hell are the Muppets getting comparable screen time to the award winners on an award show? What are we doing? Oh, God. Anyway, here's obligatory Snoop Dogg. The man is everywhere these days. Now with Sun. In all seriousness, they were at the ceremony as the founders of Death Row Games, and to announce the winner of the next award, Best Ongoing Game, went to Arrowhead Game Studios for Helldivers 2. That was, I believe, their second award win of the night. Props to game director Michael Erickson for shouting out the development team, specifically in his speech, and leading the audience in giving the development team a round of applause. That was a bit of a common thread in this year's show, was a lot of the winners, you would have the game director or the CEO, the president, a bigger name in the company or the studio go up, and they would shout out the development team, give them a little bit of flowers. I appreciated that. That was a nice little touch from a lot of them. Shouts out to that. We all love developers here. The award for Best Adaptation went to Fallout, and after more announcements and a performance from the DOGG, came the award for Best Music. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth took home that trophy. That is their first win of the night. Oh, I'm about to butcher this, I'm so sorry. Kitase Yoshinori-san's speech is one of the more entertaining ones of the show. I found another highlight, but not because of anything Kitase-san said. It's because if you were watching the IGN stream or the VOD on YouTube, there was a small hiccup that revealed the entire stream was just a screen cap of the Twitch broadcast of the Game Awards. Why not just direct people to the official broadcast, IGN, and just do like a pre-show and a post-show stream? Why are you... I know why, it's so that IGN can make money, but god damn, that's messed up, man. Anyway, congratulations to Kitase-san and the entire sound team behind Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's unfortunate that it had to happen during the man's speech. Next were more rapid-fire winners, but these were kind of some of the bigger awards, which is weird. Best Independent Game went to Balatro, Local Thunk's second win of the night. This was followed by Best Mobile Game, which also went to Balatro, so make that 3 for Local Thunk. Best Audio Design went to Ninja Theory for their work on Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. That's the second win for the game on the night, and first since the opening award of the main show. And the Player's Voice Award, given to the game voted as the favorite of gamers worldwide, went to Game Science's Black Myth Wukong for their second trophy of the night. I said earlier, we'd talk about Game Science later, and later is now. Spoiler alert, Black Myth Wukong does not win Game of the Year. So, I'm sorry for all the people who wanted to see that, they don't win. While Game Science was grateful the fans awarded them the Player's Voice Award, CEO Feng Ji was mildly irritated the title didn't win Game of the Year. According to a story from The Gamer, Ji posted a 7-paragraph statement on Chinese social media site Weibo, I hope I pronounced that right, where he revealed he had originally written a Game of the Year acceptance speech for Black Myth Wukong 2 years ago. Now, according to a comment underneath that story by a user named Dante, that statement, if translated accurately, is meant to show that Ji was confident in the game at an early stage. Ji's post was, as the gamer themselves admitted, translated by a machine translation, and for anyone who's taken a second language kind of, or any sort of language class, you know, machine translation is terrible. A lot of nuance and things are lost in translation when you use a robot, so it's quite possible that there's some emotion or something was lost in that translation. I saw another post on social media that said that actually he was still being a bit of a dick, so I don't know. I don't know Mandarin, so I'm not much of a help there. But hopefully Chinese Game Science, doesn't take this loss to heart and continues to create incredible games. If Game Science keeps creating games at the level and the caliber they'll win another Game of the Year award very soon. They've got the ability, they've got the talent. Next was the most unique award presentation of the night. Sam Lake of Remedy Entertainment presented this next award with his signature narrative style, some black and white imagery, and great humor. The award for Best Narrative went to Metaphor Refantasio, Studio Zero and Atlas's third win of the night, and first opportunity to give an acceptance speech. Yikes, Game Awards. Then, after even more announcements, at this point I wasn't timing it because I wanted the show to be over, it was finally time for the biggest award of them all to find its new home. Sven Vink, I hope I pronounced that right, of Larian, that is the creator of Baldur's Gate 3, the 2023 Game of the Year award winner, presented this year's Game of the Year award. Astrobot, the little blue bot that could, took home the trophy. When all was said and done, Astrobot also won the most awards with 4 trophies. Metaphor Refantasio and Balatro tied for the second most awards with 3. And Black Myth Wukong and Helldivers 2 rounded out the top 5 with 2 wins each. Congratulations to all the winners for their shiny new achievements, and to all the nominees for making such incredible games. If you want to know who won at the other major gaming award show of the year, watch this video now. Stay safe, everybody.